Wonderful. So from your sitting pose, possibly up on that bolster, nestle your sitting bones into the ground and let your whole body land here. Listen to the naturally arising cycle of breath, in and out. As we enter into this practice, consider letting go ideas of perfectionism, so that we can appreciate, and you can appreciate all that you were able to do as you were able to do it. And begin to bring your hands together and rub the palms. Warm them up a little bit. Great. And then bring your hands back, and if possible, bring your feet together and rub the feet. Great. All right. Stretch the legs out wide. Kind of bounce the knees. And stretch and move the feet in and out. Great. Lean forward from the hips. Bring the chin into the chest. Find a point where you're at your edge of comfort. Find that soft edge. And even as you lean forward here, keep your chest a little open and lifted, even as the chin rests down towards the chest. Take a deep breath in all the way. And let that breath all the way out. Bring the hands to your legs. Begin to sway from side to side. Inhale left, exhale right. Good. Sway. Let the head sway with you. And begin to move into your bounce and stretch. Inhale down, exhale up. Excuse me, opposite. Exhale down, inhale up. And find, and your speed might be a little bit different from mine. The more rapid pace you have, the more energizing this will be. But know that like every day that we go into a practice, your body might need something a little different. And so if you need to take long, deep breaths here, then do that. If that feels better to you today. Breathing in, out through the nose. All right, and come back to center and lean forward, stretch your toes. Find your soft edge. Take a deep breath in. Let the breath out. And hold the breath on the bottom of the exhale. Slowly roll up as you inhale. When you're in alignment, relax the shoulders and the face. Great. Bring your legs back into cross-legged pose. Maybe switching which foot was in closer to your hips, if you can remember which one was closer into your body. If not, no worries. And just roll your shoulders a few times. Good. Inhale, stretch the arms up, circle up. Exhale and bring them down and out like angel wings. Palms together and then palms out and down. Stretching up with the spine. Breathe deep, full breath into the belly, the rib cage, and the chest. On this one, bring the hands together and down to the heart. Thumbs on the sternum. Listen to your breath. Notice how that makes you feel. Now bring the hands slowly down to the feet. And now begin to rock. So we are bringing the chest forward, arching from the lower back and the tailbone. And then drawing the belly button back in towards the spine as you curl the tailbone underneath you and round the spine all the way through the neck. Begin to move with your breath. Inhale as you bring it forward and arch. Exhale on the rounding of the spine. All right, come back to center and sitting up tall. Bring the arms out and lift up one arm, the other hand placed on the ground. Stretch your arm up to the sky and maybe over out to the side. Just breathe here, full breath in and out. Good. And after a few breaths, press down, lift up, come back to sitting. And then the other side, hand on the ground, lift up. And you can stretch up towards the sky and then a little bit over to your degree of comfort. Just breathe into your rib cage. Notice how the muscles between the ribs move as you breathe. Good. Press down, slowly lift up. Good. Bring the hands to the shoulders. Begin to twist and just rock from side to side. Twisting from the belly button. Inhale to the left and exhale to the right. Once again, this can be a little faster or you can go nice and slow here. Breathe deep in and out through the nose. powerful breath. Begin to slow down and come back to center. And release the arms. Good. And now release the legs. Bring them around back into tabletop pose. And in this pose, do a few cats and cows, arching and round the back. Looking into the chest and then up towards the sky. And now pausing, and then press back with your right leg, press back with the heel. And you can kind of come out of this a little bit as you inhale, exhale, and deepen back. Good. And now switch the legs. So bring that knee down. Carefully bring the other leg back. Press it back through the heel. On your inhale, ease out a little bit. Excellent. Bring that knee back in. And then we're going to make our way into forward fold. So you can come into a downward dog in the middle, or just or just bring one foot up at a time and use a stool or chair, whatever you need, to make your way into forward fold, and kind of bounce the knees when you're here. Good. So you're getting, and kind of bounce and lift the hips up. Relax the head down. Maybe circle with the head in one direction and then the other. Find a place to relax and rest in your forward fold for a moment. Little bend in the knees. Good. From this forward fold, slowly roll your spine up so that it is parallel to the ground in monkey pose. Hands can be on the legs, just stretching down to the ground, or open out to the side. Your choice. Having the arms out like this will put more pressure on your back. So if you have back sensitivity, it might be best to start off here with the hands on the shins or your legs. Good. With an exhale, bring it back down. Become aware of the crown of the head, the very top of the head. As you inhale, lift up into monkey and point and stretch the crown of the head forward. On the exhale, bow the crown of the head down. Shoulders come onto the back, chest open. Good. This time in monkey, bend the knees and sit the hips back. Lift up the chest into chair. Good. Make sure you can see your toes underneath the knees. Bring the arms up and stretch them forward. Stretch the arms forward and then bring the shoulders into the shoulder sockets. With an inhale, slowly bring it up. If it feels good to you, stretch the arms up and go into a slight back bend. I know it's hard to see me here. Looking up towards the sky. And come back up to neutral. And lower the arms down. I'm just going to move the camera angle now. Okay, great. So from here, you're in your standing pose, feet underneath you. Bring the hands into the heart. A moment to listen to the breath again. Bring the hands down. Wiggle the fingers and stretch them out towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive down to forward fold. Inhale, monkey, lift up halfway. Exhale and come back to forward fold. Down you go. Inhale, sit the hips back, bend the knees, but stay low here. Good. Come back up to forward fold, hips lift. Inhale into monkey. Exhale to chair. Bend the knees, sit back, lift up the arms. And then we'll press all the way up into standing. Slight back bend as you bring the hips forward and look up towards the sky. And come back to neutral. Spine. And lower the arms down. Good. Roll the shoulders. And now moving into a little balance. Shift over to one side. Find a place to gaze that's not moving. Bring the other foot onto the ankle or onto the calf. You can also go above the knee as well if that feels within your practice. That's also part of tree. Find what works for you. Hips open, shoulders open. You can start with the hands here. Arms can also be open out to the sides or even stretched up above you. All right. And lower it down. And shake out the hips. Good. And come back to standing. And go to the other side. Bring your weight over to the other side. Your foot can come onto the ankle, the calf, or above the knee. Those are your options. Find what works for you. Hips open, chest open, and arms stretched or in a place that makes you feel more fortified in this balance pose. Good. And now bring it back down and shake it out. Shake out your arms, shake out each leg. Good. All right. Now, good. Get a little silly. And now we're going to do something that's a little different than normal, but just bear with me and see how it feels for you. So from your standing pose, however that feels, a nice grounded standing pose, let the head begin to circle around. Feel how that circling moves through your chest and your shoulders. All right, reverse direction. Good. And now bring the circling into the wrist, both wrists. And as you do this, you can also kind of sway or circle the hips. All right, reverse direction of your circles. For those of y'all who are people who went to my Harvest and Yoga class, whenever I reverse direction, I think back to Shirley, one of our participants. She always made me giggle. When she would giggle whenever we reverse direction, because it is challenging. And for some people, reversing direction can be like a major brain exercise. Well, that's what yoga is all about, exercising the brain and creating new neural pathways, new perspectives. All right, come back to the center And bring your feet a little wider and draw an infinity sign with the hips on the ground, or trace like a sideways 8. Good. And then reverse your direction. Breathing. Don't forget to breathe. There's some kind of like bee right now that's buzzing and just looking at itself in the door window. Kind of odd. I can't. So if you hear that droning, that buzzing, it's actually a little bee. Okay, so now come back to center. Good. And bring your feet back underneath you. Balancing again to one side. Lift up and circle the foot around. And then reverse direction. And then lower it down into the other side. And reverse direction. And bring it down. All right, from here, come down to the ground. Stretch up, swan dive down. And bring the knees down. And come onto your belly, down all the way to the ground. And just rest on the belly. With just one cheek on the floor. And then the other cheek on the floor. Bring the legs together. Maybe you bring the head to the center and hands come underneath the shoulders. Connect your pubic bone firmly or powerfully and gently to the ground. Adjust or add pillows or blankets if you need to. This can be even more comfortable. With an inhale, slowly peel and stretch the face up and the heart center up. And just keep this low for now. So not really using your hands for actual effort to lift up. With the exhale, bring it down and lower the forehead. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, lower. Feel the toes press into the ground so your kneecaps lift. Another option here is to bring the arms down back behind you instead of on the floor and stretch the arms back as you lift. Another option here is to lift the legs up, as you stretch back. And you can lift up just from the knees or try to lift up from the actual hips themselves. Lowering everything down and connect to the ground before lifting up again. That's an option. You can be in this pose. This is locust pose. You can just be lifting up the arms, or you can still have your hands underneath the shoulders and be moving in this way. All right. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders now. If they aren't already there, then lift up at the top, lower one shoulder and look over the other. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale to the other side. Good. Press all the way up onto the knees. And bring the hips back and come back into child's pose, your child's pose. And a few options for child's pose. You can have your blanket, pillow, bolster, whatever it is, in front of you so you can kind of hug something. And it can also be on your lap so you're not bending over as much. Another option is to have the bolster pillow underneath your hips. So your hips have something to rest on if they don't reach your heels or your legs. The key is just using props to, just assist you and your body, what you need today, what feels good, and is helpful. If none of these poses are helpful to you, then you may want to just go onto your back, flip over, and be in a knees to chest position. That is basically the same thing as what we're doing here, but you've flipped your body around in a different position relative to the earth. Child's pose is posture that teaches us how to surrender. Surrendering that perfectionism. And really appreciating or really just loving where you are today in your practice. Now, if you are not on your back and you're in child's pose, begin to roll up slowly. And then bring your legs around and come onto your back. And if you're already on your back, just stay there. Yeah, and go into knees to chest. If you're just getting here, notice how it feels a little different. Stretch the legs and the arms directly up. Hands above the shoulders, feet over the hips if you can. And we're just going to point and flex and stretch. Exhale as you point. Inhale, flex. Good. Then circle the wrists and the feet. And circle in the other direction. Good. All right. And then bring the knees back into the chest. And this time the knees wide to a happy baby pose. Stretching the knees down and out. And you can have the feet up as well. You can hold on to the feet or the ankles, the shin. And rock from side to side. And then bring the legs together, knees up and arms out. And let the legs lean over to one side. And then you can stretch out the legs here or bend them and adjust your shoulders. You Look and turn away from the knees so that you're twisting your neck. Relaxing the face. And then bring the knees together and lift them back up again. Over to the other side. Stretch them out or bend the knees. And just find a comfortable twisting laying pose here. Also stretching through the sciatic nerve. Maybe just let your head roll over to gaze away from the legs. Great. All right. Knees together. Lift the legs back up to the top. Good. And then stretch them out long. And today, if you would like, you may bring the legs elevated by placing them on a chair or leaning them up against a wall. So if you need to move, do so. It's okay if you don't feel like doing this or if it's just not accessible today. It's simply an option to have the legs elevated. And you may want to blanket over you. Get you nice and cozy. Wherever you are, rub your hands together. And then bring the hands to the face, starting from the chin. Lift up the center of the face. Exhale as the fingers go around the outsides of the face. You might trace like gentle little light touches, light touch. Or your touch may be a little bit more like a caress, a little more pressure. If it feels good to you, spend a few more moments like on one place, circling on that place on the face that could use that extra attention. If you wish, come down to the ears. Begin to do a little bit of ear massage also. Find a pressure point on the ears, anywhere where you, when you press and apply pressure, you feel another part of your body relax. There are so many pressure points on the ears that no matter where you touch, you're probably getting a pressure point. So keep that in mind. And exhale, release your hands down again. And taking the next few minutes to really let the body relax. This is simply where we get to kind of soak in all of the good movement, the good medicine movement. So that um, so that the body is more likely to let this beneficial breath and movement become a part of your norm and the body's normal way of moving through the world and in a way that is mindful or graceful or youthful and lively. Or without perfectionism, able to accept whatever is happening, however it is happening. Without the self judgment. We are able to respond instead of react. As you rest here, you may wish to do a body scan, sinking into the fingers and the toes. Sinking into and sensing into the face. slowly begin to deepen your breath. We wish to invite some movement into the body again. You may want to bring your knees into the chest, and rock on the back. Begin to stretch like you're waking up. Oh, yawning is great. Sighing too. Until you are ready to roll over onto your side. And slowly press on up. And come into any comfortable sitting pose. Shoulders down, back, and just notice how you feel here at the end of this practice today. To end this practice, bring the arms up, hands down through the center. May this practice bring us peace. And may we share this peace with the world. Namaste. I think thank you for practicing today with me.